YouTube, what is up? Here in the office, you can see some stuff in the back here. Little shirt here, crazy. Got this in Italy. If you guys know what this is, I mean, there's levels to shirts. But welcome to another video. This one is quickly, I'm gonna shoot before I go to bed. Just had a thought, crazy reflection as I was looking through some of my mentors' videos, came across a masterclass, skimmed through it quickly, and you essentially realize that all the answers, once you remove all the things, in terms of the lifestyle and the habits, they're already there, but you sometimes need a reminder from someone that is connected and aligned to help you see it. But essentially, the answer or the answers you're looking for only come when you're connected. So just quickly, therefore the only goal is to be aligned. When you're aligned / connected, meaning you are one with the signal, which is God, then you get all the answers as a consequence. You get the next step. Not all the answers, you don't get 10 steps ahead or 20 steps ahead. You get the answer for the situation you're in. So if you're currently working a job, if you have a business, whatever level you're at, you get the next step or the next thing to do to get to that level that God knows is within your heart and within your, the desire you have. You don't have to think about the desire, which is actually something that disaligns you, or constantly be thinking about the goal or what you want to achieve. When you're in those states of desire, you're essentially not aligned because you're not grateful for the place you're in. And when I say you're aligned, it means you're grateful, at peace, and essentially you're in a state of abundance. And that is the most abundant place you can be, is with God, infinite intelligence, the source. So when you're grateful and you are aligned, that means you're getting all the downloads. You're basically in that frequency, so you're able to get everything back. And it's somewhere where God designed us to be aligned with Him. And you're there when you're in peace. Like I said, you're not stressed, you're not worrying, you're not in fear, you're not thinking. Specifically thinking is what disaligns you. And the habits are the number one thing to give you a foundation to even be close to being aligned. Because if you are stuck in vices, if you're constantly chasing feelings that you think are real, that your ego creates, if you have a bad environment, people that are also just chasing vices, then you have all this noise that you have to basically push around, which is impossible because it just keeps distracting you, keeps disaligning you. So the number one step is always removing and letting go. And this goes externally, but this goes even deeper in terms of the identity you have as a person, or the identity your ego constructs, because you don't have no identity. Everything's fluid. You create these identities with your ego of like who you are based on what you have or what you've achieved or things you've experienced. And it's removing those layers like an onion and peeling them back. Where you get to the core of who you are, your spirit, your soul. And this could be another video entirely, but just got that crazy reflection that essentially really your only goal is to be aligned. And you think that's easy and something that just happens. You wake up and, oh, I'm aligned, and cool, day goes on. But being aligned, I promise you, and my coach is gonna watch this video and he knows, is the hardest thing in this life to maintain for extended periods of time. Wake up every day and you have to obviously be grateful, thank God for giving you another day. But from there, especially if you have a big mission, you're gonna have constant battles with the devil, trying to get you to think, trying to get you to desire, trying to get you distracted with this or that, lust here, there, the noise. You have noise of maybe people outside, people trying to just remove your energy from being aligned as well, get you disconnected. You have vices that may be calling you, you have lust that's calling you. So you have all these things that you're battling with, and the one thing you're trying to do is stay aligned. So you tell me how easy that is, how easy that sounds when you have all the reasons, because this world is designed to distract you, because the world unfortunately is run by the devil. If you see the world nowadays, everything is trying to remove you from faith. It's trying to basically invade you with fear. The news, even it's all programming. It's all things that the media knows is controlling you, and then trying to change your frequency and lower your frequency with everything. Even the foods you eat, everything is a battle. So therefore, when I say it's simply being aligned, it's not simple. It sounds simple. It's simple to think about. Oh, we just be aligned, but like I said, you're battling everything 24/7, and it's really the craziest feeling once you're there, or state. Sorry, it's not a feeling, it's a state once you're there, when you're at peace, when you're connected, when you're aligned. And once you're there, you don't know how you can live any other place. But when you're not there, when you're in your ego, when you're thinking, when you're stressed, when you're anxious, when you're in fear, when you're wondering what the next step is, or the next 10 steps, when you start to question and need to find answers, and you go on a website, or you go on YouTube, or you chat GPT what you should do, whether it's making decisions for business or relationships or whatever it is, then you are back in ego, and it's like you're underwater. The best explanation can be is when you're aligned and connected, you're above water, you're able to see others in a place where they're essentially drowning, and the devil's drowning them. But when you're in that place, you yourself are drowning, and you can't see how to get out. You can't see above water. And that's why the work and the journey is not something that many people understand. It's a 0.01% club. I call it the connected club, because like I said, you have every possible distraction to keep you away from being aligned, which is you being in connection with the one that's trying to guide you. And you have to train yourself, learn through the habits are removing, but learning where the battles are coming from, where the ego is trying to remove you. So sometimes I've had days where I thought I was connected, but it was simply ego. And one thing that I've realized is the telltale sign that you are in ego is when you want to add more. So when you're in spirit and when you're aligned and you're connected and you're grateful, you don't want to add anything. You're already at peace, you're already abundant. But when you're in ego, meaning you're in lack, meaning the devil's trying to trick you to add things, you want to add this. You want to go see a friend, or maybe go do something, or go shopping, or those little things that you want to do to add to your day. That is when you are in ego, and essentially are not in the moment. You're not aligned, you're not connected. And when you're connected and aligned, it's a state, it's not a feeling, I said before, but you just know, because you can remove everything around you, and you could still feel abundant, still feel more abundant than people have everything. And it's the place, it's literally the sweet spot to be in. But it's very easy to get out of that. And once you're there, you understand you're essentially at the highest frequency, and that is where you want to be. And that is why I want to say the goal is simply to be aligned. It's getting there, understanding how to stay there as long as possible, enjoying when you're there, but also realizing that the battles are going to be 24/7 to get you out. Starting from the moment you wake up, making sure that you do thank God and are grateful. That's the one thing you have to do, or else you already start the day in lack, thinking you're owed the day, and you should just wake up every day like that. And then from there, it's the habits of not doing the things that most people do, is not trading in the morning, instantly just possibly going on their phone, getting consumed by social media, friends, social networks, stuff like that. It's connecting with God, connecting with the one that keeps giving you days and bringing you here. And then from there, it's the habits of, I go for a walk first thing in the morning. I reflect first in the morning, read a passage of the Bible, then go for a walk. I have these stories that I post on my social media. I do that every morning. I'll put the Instagram below, you can follow there. And just reflections that I get when I'm connected, or even if I'm not connected, just being authentic and sharing. Authenticity is another high vibration. If you're feeling bad, you can, you're allowed to say that. You're not supposed to, you're not gonna just lie. Many people feel bad but try to show something, there's something else or another place that's simply being inauthentic, and you can't raise your frequency that way. So be authentic no matter how you wake up, but you know, show that you're grateful and say it out loud as well, because your words are frequency. And then from there, I come back, I read the Bible, reflect on it some more, go to the gym, and then from there it's no vices, no smoking, no drinking, no partying, no lust, no gambling, no pornography, nothing. Not things that I was doing years ago that people tell you is normal and people battle with all the time, of like, they have these no fap challenges, stuff like that. You don't have that when you are choosing to connect with the spiritual and live your life that way. You're living your life on a different plane, essentially. It's crazy to think about the progress you make looking back, when you have all these battles of lust and you think that's normal. When you align yourself, or your job is to align yourself, or removing all the things and letting go of things that you think you are, is when you begin to, your thoughts change, literally. It's crazy. And that's something that I have to explain in a different video. But the lifestyle is literally the 1.01%, because like I said, it's all removing, it's all letting go of the things that society tells you is okay to do. Get consumed in this, get consumed in that, go have fun. Everything's designed for you to be distracted. And once you realize that you can be aligned and receive the next steps, that is all you want to do. That is why I simply wake up at the same time every day, not for myself, to thank God and be grateful for the life, the chance He's given me of, the purpose He wants you to fulfill. And then from there, it's just staying aligned and understanding where the battles are coming from. And you get better and better as it goes, but the whole thing is learning how to live, the art of living. This is what I'm showing here and speaking about. I will be showing more as the channel, goes on, but it's something that sounds simple, but like I said, everything is against you when you are trying to live this lifestyle, because life is designed for you to be consumed by the devil. Just chase desires, chase lust, chase feelings, and before you know it, you've never discovered your purpose, what you're here to do, never unraveled your gifts, what you're here to give the world, and you leave with a pretty guilty conscience, I would say. So the whole goal is staying aligned, so your conscience is clear, because you're following the steps that God is giving you. And then from there, it's having the faith and not living in fear to take those steps, because it's commands. He says, do this, do that. You never know what it is, but you have to have faith that it's going to lead in the direction, even if it doesn't make sense to your logical mind, because your logical mind is controlled by one below, and they want to create stories for you that make sense, so you can stay trapped in fear. So that's something I want to throw out there quickly before I go to bed. And it's, like I said, something that sounds simple, but I'll put to the title, your whole job is to stay aligned and understand. And one book to realize how it is against you is Outwitting the Devil. That's one thing I'll leave you with. Some homework you can do is read that book, because that book changes the whole perspective on everything. And from there, you can start going into the Bible step by step. But everything is step by step. When you're in a rush, that's another thing you realize is the devil trying to push results or things that have their timing, divine timing. So step by step, read the books. Outwitting the Devil is the one book you should read. Not all the books, you only need so much information. So I would say read a little bit and act a lot. It's not act, read a lot, act a little bit. So that is a rule to have a rule of how much you read per day. That's something that helps you a lot. Don't just read books on books and then just do nothing with it. It's about, it's not it's an application problem, not a knowledge problem. If you want to know, need to know more, it's you applying what you learn. So that is one to end it with. If you guys want to follow the journey, everything is on Instagram. I post every single day the habits, things that keep me in this lifestyle. And like I said, it's the lifestyle that 0.01%. You won't meet many people other than myself and maybe 2 or 3, 5, 10 guys that live this lifestyle and dedicated to living this lifestyle, because it's something the world will laugh at and scoff at, because they think, well, what's the point? Might as well just, you don't know what you're here for, so just enjoy life. That's the viewpoint of many people, so they just chase pleasure. But when you realize that you're here for a bigger calling, because your conscience calls to you, then you're watching this video, then things don't become easier if you have more of a purpose and more of a why, so you can push through everything and the battles, because the battles, like I said, are 24/7. So hope that helps you to understand a bit more of the message and what I'm looking to get across with this channel. Essentially the way to live, the art of living, and a way that actually brings you everything you've ever desired, but in a way that doesn't, hurt anybody. You're not stepping on anybody's feet, and you're glorifying the one that brought you here for that purpose, to fulfill your purpose and also fulfill your desires when you're ready, which is the big guy upstairs. So thankful to be able to make this video. Thankful for anybody who watched still to the end and watched. Crazy the peace I'm getting more and more, and the wisdom that just comes, like nuggets of wisdom that don't sound like a lot, but when you're elevating yourself more and more, and removing the things that you think you are to get to who you really are, then that's when the game changes. So thank you for staying. If you stayed to the end, much love. Videos coming every day. That is my challenge and commitment to myself, to post every day, to get some wisdom on whatever happens, and updates, and just everything in this life that I've had a 180 in terms of changing from, like I said in another video, chasing women till 7 a.m. a few years ago to now waking up at 4 a.m. and praising God. So crazy how life works, and it's simply about following the steps that are given to you when you are aligned, and removing the things that are disconnecting you. So God bless. Until next time, as always, keep killing it.